And this is going to be the most radical thing that I've said out of all this today, but I almost think we should consider getting housing, getting real estate, getting land ownership and property off of the financial market. Maybe have some system where every adult is assigned so many credits and they can use it. You know, if you want a small apartment and say a cabin someplace, that will use up your credits. Or if you want, 50 acres out in the desert or something, kind of have it calculated by where the demand is. But instead of having money and inflation even involved in the system, I think maybe we should switch to some sort of system like that with housing credits where everyone gets them, you can trade them, and that's real complicated because how do you pay for maintenance, and you really can't take money out of the equation. But people's houses should be theirs. We don't need these banks doing this to people, and I think as more and more, as our population booms like this, and there's less and less places for people to build houses and whatnot, it's something we need to consider and really think about. And the technology is here for every person to have a home, and we shouldn't just be paying interest fees, rent for our spot on this God-given earth. It's silly. A lot of people right now in the mortgage industry talk about, well, when the rates turn, or when the market turns around, just keep paying, keep holding on to your mortgage right now, and when the market turns around, you'll be able to develop some equity there again. And I just want to talk about how I think it's goofy that we just let, the man behind the curtain play with, interest rates and the amount of money we can loan out and, make subprime mortgages and whatnot when it's people's homes. It's not something that we should be investing in or using as, instruments. It's something you need to live in, and it should be considered a necessity that I think you have the right to own. I think everyone in this day and age should have the right to a modest house, an apartment, whatever it may be. But I feel like we shouldn't let bankers play games with people's livelihood for profits like this. Like they are keeping our economy down because so many people are just living paycheck to paycheck right now, struggling to pay their mortgage, to pay interest to bankers. That doesn't do anything to stimulate our economy. Like if we just said you don't have to pay that anymore, people are going to be out, buying, spending money at restaurants, circulating money through the economy again, and that's what we need. And then at the same time, go out and let young people take land that's not being used, there's tons of it, and build homes for the cost of just the materials, which will also, get people spending money working on land, building homes, and that's the real problem. People shouldn't be paying $300,000 for a home that you can build for, $25,000, $50,000. And it's just because we let this whole real estate bubble get completely out of hand. And, if we just, and a lot of public services right now, teachers, firefighters, police, whatever, want more money too. And if we're going to be letting bankers play games with our properties so the cost of living goes up for everybody, it only makes sense that all that stuff is going to cost more money because they're going to say, hey, I need a raise to keep up with inflation. Like, we shouldn't even have inflation. We should really take control of our money back and in the Federal Reserve. Stop letting a private institution just play games. The man behind the curtain is not looking out for your best interest. In conclusion, I just really think that, if you've already paid more than your home is worth to your bank, they have no right to ask for interest or anything. Like, I feel like, yeah, screw it, you own your home. Screw the bank, they made a bad investment. We're not going to let them just stick it to you and keep paying and paying and paying. Like, we need people to be spending money in the economy, and that's one thing that we should really do, considering these bankers caused this mess, and they already took their bailout money and gave themselves bonuses. It's insane. Like, America needs to wake up. And lastly, too, if you are struggling to pay your mortgage right now, there are programs available that you may qualify for, the Home Affordable Modification Program. And it's a pain. It's really difficult to get your bank to give it to you unless you have an attorney representing you. And if you would like to find out more about how you can get an attorney to represent you and how you can get your mortgage down to be about 31% of your income or less, go ahead and send me a message, give me your phone number, and I will put you in touch with some people who can help you out. But in the long run, I think what I'm talking about here is the change that we need to be moving towards. Have a good night.